Hey Redeemer Church, I hope you all are well. This week we're going to start posting some short devotional videos for you all, and we're going to start by just picking some different prayers in the Bible, and we're going to keep this really simple. We're just going to work through them, see what they can teach us, and then we're going to apply them to our own lives, specifically to our own praying. And so today, we're going to start out in the book of Colossians in chapter 1, if you want to turn there. And in this opening section of the letter, Paul outlines a prayer that he is praying for the church in Colossae. And there's a lot here that we can learn. But like I said, we're going to keep this simple. And we're just going to look at three things in this prayer that really has a lot to say to us and to shape our own praying. And so let's get into it here. The first thing that we see in Colossians chapter 1, starting in verse 9, is that Paul is praying for their knowledge. Knowledge, not just any knowledge, but knowledge of God's will and spiritual understanding. Church, we should be prayerfully pursuing knowledge. The best way we can do that is by reading and studying, meditating on and praying the scriptures. The Bible is God's book, and we will not hear his voice and know him and know this word unless we are taking in the Bible in this reading, studying, meditating, praying manner. And so we pray for knowledge, and then we read his book. The second thing we see in this short prayer is that knowledge has a purpose. In praying for their knowledge, Paul's praying that they would be fruitful. Knowledge is meant to bear fruit in our lives. It says that Paul is praying that we would walk in a manner worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing to him, bearing fruit in every good work while we are increasing in the knowledge of God. And so we can pray for good works that glorify God and do good to others. And then at the end of this short prayer, we get what I would call gospel gratitude. Look at verse 12 through 14. Paul now transitions to giving thanks, and he highlights 5 aspects of the gospel here at the end of this prayer. He says that we have been qualified by God. We have been delivered by God. We have been transferred into the kingdom of his beloved Son. We have been redeemed, and we have been forgiven. And so Paul is giving thanks in specific ways for specific aspects of the gospel. And I don't know about you, but sometimes when I pray and when I try to give thanks, I run out of things to say pretty quick, or I feel like I'm just saying the same things. Well, the Bible can help us with that. We can look at passages like Colossians 1, and we can pray through specific gospel truths. And as we give thanks and as we worship, we will find our prayers to be enriched, and we will find that we are growing in gratitude as we worship God for the gospel and for all that he has done for us. And so I want you to take these 3 simple things: praying for knowledge, that we would know God and his will; praying for fruit, that knowledge would be like rain falling on fertile soil in our hearts, and that it would produce the good fruit of works that are pleasing to God and that do good to others; and that we would worship God for what he has done in the gospel with specific truths like we see highlighted here in Colossians chapter 1. So I pray that this week, as you pray, that you would be able to turn to Colossians 1, and that you would be able to pray, and it would be fruitful and sweet, and that your joy in Jesus would be full. I love you guys.